Hey guys, welcome back. And this video is going to be focusing solely on utilities, and we're going to attack them. We're going to knock them out. We're going to make them super lean and mean so that we can save more money for ourselves and enjoy that money that we actually earned ourselves versus giving it to the utility companies. This is going to be a shorter video. We're going to break it down piece by piece, and we're going to try to make it super simple. This is something you can take, you can learn, you can turn this into an actionable item right here and right now, right after you get done watching this video. Let's just jump into it. Quick disclosure here, guys. Like all of our videos, please use this for the following information for educational purposes only. We are not lawyers, certified public accountants, or financial advisors. Please seek professional advice as needed. Thank you. So a quick overview, we're going to talk about the common utility types, easy and inexpensive fixes, and how to keep the savings working for you. Electricity. So all of our homes have electricity coming to them, and this is the one that we're going to jump into here first. Before we start looking at our own house, let's look at the bill and the provider that is bringing the electricity to us. If you look at your bill, you'll realize that there are different hour and usage breakdowns. So there's non-peak, peak hours, and high usage. And the verbiage might be a little different depending on your bill compared to my bill. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you are being charged different amounts at different times and for different usage rates. So non-peak, or the normal rate, is when you're using electricity in your house, and this is the base rate that you're going to get charged for. The next would be peak hours. Peak hours would be for when everybody else is using their electricity and the electricity company has to fire up more of its energy producing machines to send out the electricity to make sure that there's no blackouts or brownouts. And during these hours, they're going to charge you a higher rate per kilowatt. And then there's also a high usage rate. And I didn't realize what a high usage rate was. I figured that would be like if I had 50 or 60 computers running at my house, or I don't know, I had I was welding I had a welding business, something that took a lot of energy in all at once. But when I had roommates, and my one roommate was in charge of the electric bill, he would go, "Hey guys, we can't use the washer and the dryer at the exact same time." And because it basically doubles our electricity bill. The high usage rate is saying that your house is taking in or using up way more energy, way more electricity than what it normally does. And because you personally are using more energy than what you normally do, we're going to charge you a higher rate. So it's basically a peak hours, but only for your own house. Realizing this, we just made basically a minor adjustment. And that minor adjustment was, don't run the washer and the dryer at the exact same time. And my wife and I now, we wash the clothes 3 or 4 times a week, and then we'll either hang dry them or we will put them in the dryer, but we just won't run both machines at the same time. So just understanding your bill is what we're trying to get at here, and just knowing where your money is going and how it's being spent, provided by the utility provider. A base fee. What is a base fee? Well, all of your utility bills are going to have, at least in my area, have what's called a base fee. And the electric bill it's basically saying we're going to charge you X amount of dollars per month just to have a line coming to your house. And generally this number is negligible, but it is also somewhat negotiable. And this leads me into my next point here of multiple providers option. Do you live in an area where you have multiple providers that can bring you electricity? Because if you do, one base fee might be different than another base fee for another provider. And obviously, when we're talking about providers here, we're not talking about the lines are going to change coming to your house. They're not going to rebuild the lines. It's going to be company A, company B, company C. You pick one of those companies, and then now that company wins your bid. The juice is flowing towards your house from that company. Some companies have lower base fees and higher usage rates, and other ones are opposite of that. And I've seen that with different electricity providers. So see if you're a low use electricity using household, then go with one that has a lower base fee, versus if you use a lot more electricity and the per usage rate amount is lower, then go with that one. But there is a difference between providers, and depending on how you use your electricity, this could be a money saver just by switching companies. The budget option. This isn't really going to technically, I would say, save you money, but it's going to potentially even out your bills. So let's say that we're talking about electricity here. In the summer months, that's when your electricity bill is at its highest, because you're running your air conditioning and other appliances, but your air conditioning is using up way more energy than what it does in the winter months, and you have gas heat at your house. And vice versa in the wintertime. So a budget option would they would look at your bill, they'd be like, okay, Mr. Homeowner, you on average spend $150 per month in electricity. Now the high end we'll say is $350, and the low end it's $75. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 150 is your average. It's going to be 150. It's going to be $150 January through December, so that when you open up that bill, there's no sticker shock price of this, like, oh my God, how are we going to pay for this? Because your budget could vary, your electricity usage could vary a lot if you live in climates where you get all 4 seasons and you get them in full effect, like I do. Now, just a caveat to this, it's if they think that you use, if your average is say 150, they might charge you like 155 or 160. Now, they're not stealing money from you. They're just kind of covering themselves to see if you don't go over that average, that you don't end up owing them at the end of the year. They want to owe you. And generally that comes in as a rebate, like you didn't use $60. We overcharged you $60 throughout the year. Here's a $60 check, or here's a $60 credit towards your next bill. And then they just readjust what their budget is going to be. So for planning purposes, and maybe if you're not one of those people that likes to see big swings in their electricity bill, look at the budget option. Your utility provider should have that option for you. Rebates, credits, giveaways, and information. I was very shocked that just by going to my electricity provider's website, how much information and giveaways and credits and all this stuff they had, resources available that just on their website that I never really knew existed. They can give you a rebate on your bill, or if you get an in-home audit on your house and see where how energy efficient your house is. They have giveaways, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and they have information on how to save money for your on how to save money on your utility bill. It's going to be hit and miss depending on where you live, but I highly recommend taking a look at your energy provider's website and just seeing what they have available, because best case scenario, you can save some money, get something for free, or get a discount. Worst case scenario is you waste 10 minutes. So this is an energy efficiency kit that I got sent to my house, and I get one of these sent to my house every single year. They send you a card in the mail, a mailer card, and it looks like junk mail. And you almost want to throw it away, but you look at it and you're like, oh, do you want a free energy efficiency kit? And of course, there's red flags going up of just like, this sounds like a scam. They want my information, but this is a real thing that these companies provide. And it's basically, they have to oversell it because it's like no cost to you, like nothing out of pocket. They really have to sell it because of the nonsense that's out there for scams and whatnot. But you basically just check the yes, or you go online and you check the yes mark at their site, and it takes a while for them to get it out to you. But this is basically what it is. And get one every single year. I have to manually ask for it, but they send it to me every single year. So this year in mine, I got a smart power strip. So if you look on the picture here, those teal outlet, those teal plugs, you can switch those on and off depending on if you want that device to draw power or not. Because believe it or not, if you have something tied into your electricity in an outlet, it's drawing power even if it's off. It looks like it's off, but it's actually drawing power, and it's a minimal amount of power. But that's kind of like it's like a vampire. It's feeding off of your electricity, and you don't even realize it. So this is a way to cut power to that device completely, and you use the teal ones there. Plus, it's a free power strip. I mean, power strips aren't expensive, but they're more expensive than free. And light bulbs. I got the 2 LED light bulbs here. LED light bulbs are still relatively expensive compared to other types of light bulbs. Got them for free. The middle packages there are little night light outlets, and they're light sensitive, so you don't have to turn them on and off. If the light is on in the room, then these things turn off. If it's dark for whatever reason, then these things will turn on. I don't use these personally in my house, but I will give them away to anybody that wants them. But I mean, you might find a use for them, and it's one of those things where you don't have to worry about, did I turn it on, did I turn it off, type of situation. And then the bottom thing, that little teal blue cap looking thing, the 2 pieces of cap there, I had no idea what this was, and I looked into it, and it's like a little plastic piece that you put inside of where a filter goes, and it registers how much airflow is coming through the filter. And as the filter gets dirty through dust and debris and dander in your house, it of course is constricted, and there's less air coming through. Well, when that happens, this makes a whistling sound, and then you hear this whistling sound and you're like, what the heck is this? Oh, it's my air filter, it needs change. So that's kind of a unique smart way to know when to change your air filter without having to like remember to go and do it. So I thought that was really cool. And of course, changing out your filters makes your appliances, your HVAC unit last a lot longer, your air conditioning unit last a lot longer. And filters are relatively cheap, especially when compared to fixing a HVAC unit or replacing it. They're basically next to nothing. This kit was 100% free, guys, and you should definitely look at if your utility provider has one, and if they do, when can you get one? Heck, even if you don't need it, just take it and give it to somebody that's in need that might not have efficient stuff in their house. Also, go beyond just the website and get involved in your local community. I went to a local big box retailer one time, and they had this thing going on with the electric provider, and it was basically turn in 5 light bulbs, incandescent light bulbs for 5 LED light bulbs. And you would think that a couple of people would show up, maybe not very many, because who really gives a crap about light bulbs? There was a line of 60 people in line to get these stupid light bulbs, because it all boils down to, if people think they're getting something for free and it's a deal, they're going to jump on it. So get involved with your community and just see when they're giving away free stuff, because free is free. Electricity in the home now. So we're away from the bill. We're looking at our own house. I went to my website, and they started going on with these tips and tips and tips. And I was just like, I cannot put all these things down here. So I just left the link here. Go check this out, 100 ways to improve your electricity bill. Some of them will apply, some of them won't, but in 100 ways, you're going to find a couple. They're going to work for you. And guys, just remember, what we're trying to do here is cheap, easy, and saving now. Like, we can go out and buy all new windows for our house and save on our air conditioning bill because our windows are not drafty. Yes, but that's really expensive upfront cost, and we might not have the money for that. And even if we do have the money for that, our savings are going to take a long time to recoup back. So we're looking for things that are cheap, they're easy to do. Like if there's any installation or any sort of work, a regular person can do it, and you're going to save that money now. The quick example here is the light bulbs, the old incandescents. You still might have these in your house. The good thing about these is that they're cheap, they're super cheap, and they're still working, and they do what they're supposed to do. They light up a room. The only reason you would really want to replace these is if you're using that light bulb more than 1 hour per day. If it's a light in an attic that you never go into, or a utility closet that you never go into, or a room that you never go into, there's no point in replacing that bulb, because if you click it on, you find out what you're getting, and then you leave the room and you click it off. Switching to an LED, you might save a few pennies at the end of the year, maybe $1 at the end of the year, maybe, but who cares? Just let promise you, the incandescent light bulb will break at some point, and then you can replace it with something else. The next level is the middle of the road for efficiency and price. This is your compact fluorescents, the little curly Q light bulbs there, and just put them in if you got them around, and replace them as they break, and replace them with the LED lights. And the LED lights, the reason why we're not going out and changing all of our lights to LED lights is because LED lights are expensive relative to other types of lights. You can get maybe a 10 or 15 pack of incandescent light bulbs for the same price of maybe 1 or 2 LED bulbs. So you saw that kit on the previous page there. You heard about the light bulb giveaway. Just kind of keep your eyes and ears open for situations where you can get some LED light bulbs cheap. Maybe the store is having a end of run sale, and there's some light bulbs there that are on sale for really cheap. Pick them up, kind of grow a little bit of a stockpile. So when your compact fluorescents do break, your incandescents do break, then replace them. But don't go out and spend a bunch of money on LED light bulbs, because it's not going to be worth it. There's more efficient and effective ways to do this. So continuing in the home here with the electricity, ovens, I didn't realize they are efficient, but they are efficient compared to older ovens, like ovens from previous decades. They're not as efficient as a microwave. They're not as efficient as a pressure cooker, and they're not as efficient as a toaster, believe it or not. Now, you can't cook a casserole in a toaster, but you get my point, what I'm trying to say here. A couple of different ways to use your oven more efficiently is, if you got an Energy Star one, then great. If you don't, then maybe save up for that Energy Star one when your current oven does break. And if you're cooking something and the item in there is fully cooked, like it's healthy to eat, and it's got a few minutes left on the timer that it needs to be in there, that oven does hold heat fairly well. So if there's 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left, and the food in there is fully cooked, healthy to eat, you can turn off the oven and let that residual heat just finish the cooking process, or finish the heating process for you. And ovens are very efficient in the wintertime. And the reason why that is because they are heating up your house. So if you are running your oven consistently in the wintertime, yes, your electricity bill is going to go up, but that's going to be offset by your heating bill, because all that heat is going to stay in your house. So try to use your oven a little bit more in the wintertime versus the summertime. And I just mentioned it already there. Pressure cookers are great for the summer months, and you can pick these up relatively cheap. They sit on your countertop, you plug them in. It's a no-brainer type of machine, and they are very efficient, and they're also very safe too, compared to older pressure cookers that were not. Use these to cook up like chicken breasts or any types of meats, because that pressure in there allows the heat to get inside of the meat muscle there much more efficiently than, say, what an oven does. So we have a pressure cooker. It's not the same as baking in the oven. It's not, but we love it and we use it all the time. And it takes, and 3 hours in an oven versus 30 minutes in a pressure cooker, it's not only more efficient, it's way less time. So you can set it and it beeps, it's done, you pull it all out, you dump it, you clean it, and you're out. And you're done 100% with the pressure cooker within 45 minutes, start to finish, and your oven is just getting that, getting started, getting warmed up, ready to go. Plug in as needed. These are for any sort of items in your house that draw electricity that you don't use on a regular basis, but you still have it there. So maybe you have like a blender or something, or some countertop appliances that sit there and you don't use them very often. And I think when I say very often, I mean, if you use it once, twice a week, then it doesn't need to be plugged in. If it's something that you use all the time, like a microwave or a toaster or a coffee maker, whatever, then keep those plugged in, because this is going to be annoying to keep plugging them in and unplugging them. But the point I'm trying to make here is that your appliance is going to draw power whether it's running or not. It's still kind of drawing that phantom electricity there. So just make it a habit to unplug items that you don't use on a regular basis, and you'll save a little bit of money there. So gas heat, we're going to go based off of the build and the provider first here, just like we did electricity. And I don't think this applies to gas heat, but it might. So non-peak, peak hours, and high usage. Look at your bill, because each area's bills are going to be different than other areas. They're going to be unique to that area. So do you have non-peak, peak hours, and high usage? And if there is, you could potentially offset your heating bill by using electric heat. Like you're cooking something in the oven, or maybe you have a space heater, or maybe you turn down the heat in that one room that you don't really go into. Reducing your energy consumption is the most efficient and effective way to lowering your bill versus trying to make things more efficient in your house. Base fee, same exact situation as my electric bill. It is the middle of the summer as I'm recording this video, and I will be getting a bill for my gas, and it'll be the base fee that I have to pay for this. And I'm not using my gas at all, but it's basically just like, hey, Joe, we still have this provider for you, and we're just letting you know you still owe us $25. And that, of course, leads into the multiple for provider options. I have multiple providers in my area, and it's, do you have a choice? Is there a per usage variance, and is there a base fee variance? Call up each provider, and they're fighting for your business. So don't be afraid to pick the one that works best for you. Budget option. Just like I said, the electricity, you don't use your gas heating in the summertime. So maybe your bill is $30. And in the dead of winter, it's $300. Okay, well, maybe you could potentially make that to where it's $100 a month. So now it's consistent, and it's predictable, and you know what you're opening up to. Yes, you're paying more in the quote unquote summer, and you're paying less in the wintertime. We're going for predictability here. HEAP and PIP Plus. These are both income kind of assistant programs. I looked at the HEAP. I think that was like you suffer a job loss or maybe something, and you get part of your utility bill paid for, maybe like a one-time payment to get caught up, or you get like you don't get on the shut-off notice. Like your heat will stay on through this period of economic fallout. You lost your job, you got downsized, you got fired, medical bill, whatever. And you can get on these programs, and they are for people that are in financial need, and it's income based. So you can't be a millionaire and try to get on these. But if you have, check them out. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're there for to help you get financially free by helping you now, so you can get financially free tomorrow and later on. The PIP Plus is income based, and you're paying a percentage of your income. So depending on how much money you make is how much you pay towards your energy bill. So it's a leveling the playing field, so to speak, versus income disparities. And in my opinion, if the benefit's there and you're going to take advantage of it in a positive and in a correct way, then I'm all for somebody taking it. But a lot of people don't realize these things are there, and they get behind, they get in trouble, and they think doom and gloom, but these things are there. So look into them. Deals, rebates, credits, giveaways, information. They have stuff there. They have the 101 ways to save on your heating bill. Just look at it, and some of these tips and tricks you can put into effect now. Some of them you can maybe do later on, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit later on. But it's regional based, it's area based, and it's time based too. So sometimes there'll be rebates and sometimes there won't. Sometimes the rebates will change. Same with deals and credits. So now we're done with the bill, and we're going to look in our home. Again, we're looking at cheap, now, and easy. We're not looking at replacing an HVAC unit or adding geothermal to our house or sticking a bunch of solar panels up on our roof. Like, yes, all those things will save you money in the long run, but that's a lot of money. And we can make another video for that some other time. So adjusting your comfort level, if you didn't realize this, but most bodies can't tell the difference between 69 degrees and 70 degrees. And 1 degree roughly in the wintertime is going to save you $10 a month on your heating bill. Now, 67 versus $70, that's $30 a month savings. If you live in an area like I do, where feels like it's winter 15 months out of the year, then that's a lot of money. So wear an extra layer, put a sweater on, have a blanket, and have a little bit of, I don't want to say discomfort, but you don't need to be sweating in the wintertime in your house. You know, add some layers on. That's what my wife and I do, and we save on our heating bill every single month because of that. Hot water tank. You don't realize this. There is an adjustment on your hot water tank, and it's very hot, which is, if it's a 1 to 10, we'll say 10 being the hottest, then very hot is your 10, and then hot maybe would be like an 8, and then medium is like maybe 5, somewhere around in there, whatever. But if you're on hot or very hot, and if you think that heat is sufficient, try turning it down a notch or two, because that hot water tank is heating up that water whether you use it or not. And that hot water tank is not 100% efficient. That heat will eventually dissipate through the hot water tank, and you're going to lose it. It's a use it or lose it. And you don't want to just run the water constantly so that you're using up that hot water. That doesn't make any sense either. But you want that hot water to come out at a temperature that is a balance. Is it warm enough to wash your hands and do whatever, do the dishes? And is it not so hot that you're just wasting money and you supplement it with cold water or whatever? So check that out, turn it down a notch, see how it feels to you, and it might be worth it. Energy saving blinds. Now, these are the blinds that we're talking about that go in your windows, and they reflect the sunlight back out, so that you're not capturing and absorbing the heat from the sun outside and heating up the inside of your house. These energy saving blinds are a little bit more expensive than regular blinds. Doesn't mean you need to go out and rip out all the blinds in your house and go out and switch out energy efficient blinds throughout your house. But maybe if you're redoing a room and the blinds are kind of old and ratty, then switch them out with the energy saving blinds. And like I said, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're not crazy expensive. And you'll start to see that savings as you put them in. And then a smart and digital thermostat here. I didn't realize it, but some of you might live in a house where you have the old analog dial thermostat that you turn the little clear plastic thing to left or right, and you're lining it up with the temperature that is painted or printed on there with the little orange line that's there. And believe it or not, those things are inaccurate most of the time. And as age goes on and the mechanics of them wear down, they just become more inaccurate. So you might think that, oh man, we're living at 67 degrees. We're roughing it. but actually it's 70 degrees in your house and your body hasn't adjusted to it. Switch those out with a digital or a smart thermostat. Now, obviously, a smart thermostat is more expensive than a digital, just a basic digital thermostat. But if you got one of those old analog ones and they got the dial has a little bit of a play in it, like it's a little loose, switch it out. Digital thermostats are relatively cheap, and you're going to see the savings, and you're going to be at least more accurate in setting the temperature, heat and cool. So this is going to help you. A new thermostat is going to help you be more accurate 12 months out of the year, which is great. This is a picture of the under a door that has that weather stripping there, that black there that you see kind of in the middle. There's that crack there in the middle. That's dollars going out the door that you in the form of heat loss or air conditioning loss. And if you didn't have those black strips on either side of them, then it would be all daylight across there, and that heat would just be rolling out of there consistently. Now, is this 100% energy efficient? Obviously no, but it's better than nothing. These black strips are super cheap to buy. They're relatively easy to install. I mean, it's like a YouTube video if you don't know what you're doing, and maybe a couple tries if you're super not handy. But you're going to start to feel those efficiencies come back immediately, because that heat loss is just like, if you just had like a hole in your wall where air is just coming in and out, I mean, that's basically what that is. That's huge. And it's the same for windows as well. Wherever your windows kind of connect, there's that gap. You could put weather stripping on there. It's like that foam, kind of spongy, with the stick one side sticky. You can put that in your windows, and that is going to create. That's the year round. Both of these are year round things that you can put. So save in the summertime and the wintertime on your heating and cooling. Water, it's kind of this is a little bit simpler. I mean, generally you have one water company. If you're tied into the city, if you have a well, then I mean, you still don't want to waste water either way, because it has its own cost involved with it. But we're saying that you're tied into the city. So you got the low flow toilets, the ones that have like the button on the top of them that says, full flush or half a flush. And switching out these toilets is the energy efficient, but the water efficient toilets are almost the same price as a regular cheap toilet. So when your toilet does break down, then switch it out with one that's water efficient. And then shower heads, that kit that I showed you, that energy kit that I showed you, I got one year that had a low flow water pressure shower head. Now this can be a personal preference. Some people might say no to this. I say put it on there, try it out, see how it is, because water bill is a utility, and if you can save $10, $15 a month on your water bill, it can be worth it. And also just be mindful of water and all of these things. If you're sitting there brushing your teeth and the water's just, and while you're brushing your teeth, the water's just running constantly. We were all told in grade school to turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth. Also, if you have a toilet that it's getting older and the seals are not sealing properly, then it runs constantly. That's just water going out of your house that you're paying for. So be mindful, make sure everything's working efficiently and effectively, and that you're not wasting anything here. So how do we keep these savings working? So we go through all of our utility bills here, and we're saving maybe $100 a month, whatever it is, then you can, and that money's starting to stack up. So what can we do? Well, you can replace your old inefficient appliances with Energy Star appliances, high efficiency appliances. And this could be HVAC, which is several $1,000s, hot water tank, which is several $100s, or it could be a microwave that's $100, or a oven, which is several $100s as well. You can go out and you can put that plastic, looks almost like a Ziploc kind of stuff on your windows in the wintertime, that you use a hair dryer to seal the windows, kind of adds an extra layer of protection there. you're making your house more efficient with the money that you're saving. So you're compounding your energy savings there. But eventually you're going to come to a point where your house isn't going to be more efficient if you do anything else to it. You can put in blown in insulation in the attic. You can upgrade your HVAC unit. You can go all LED. But at some point, your house is basically going to be as efficient as it possibly can be without doing a massive major renovation or doing a geothermal input or solar panels or something larger scale. So once you kind of get to that point, well, I mean, do you have a debt? Do you have debts? You have credit card, car loan, whatever, that extra money, you go to pay off that debt. Nothing wrong with that. Build up your reserve. There's another video that we talked about, that building up your reserve. Well, this is a way to create that excess income to pay for that reserve. Or if you got your debts paid off, or your debts are kind of coming down and you're okay with that process, your reserve is where it needs to be, then you can go out and buy an asset. So let's say you're saving $100 a month. I mean, that could be free dividend paying stocks that you get. And a dividend is when it pays you to own the stock. So it's like an interest rate that they pay you. So that's your money making money for you without you having to do any extra work. And I just put dividend paying stock up there as an example. You could do other things as well, but stocks are relatively cheap compared to the money that you would be saving. So you can go out and buy a couple stocks fairly easily without having to wait to buy a rental property or something like that. You know, that would take a long time to do. So guys, did we answer all of your questions here? Did we hit on something that we should have hit on? Or we missed something that we should have gone into more detail? What did you think about the presentation? You know, what's kind of stopped you in the past from reaching your financial goals, and what types of videos would you like to see next? These videos are going to be based on what you, the watcher, the viewer, the listener wants to see and hear. And please like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, 9 to 5ers. And hit the like button for us there too, and follow us there so that you do not miss any of our videos, because we're here to make you smarter today and richer tomorrow. Thank you so much.